It's a returning champion, Elgintensity, aka Traporama Senju. While the US is dealing with men who go by Mam, the UK is dealing with a man-child who goes by Mizzy. This TikToker has made headlines for posting videos of himself committing crimes and causing public disturbances as pranks. These include walking into houses uninvited and riding a bike through a busy store. Last week, Piers Morgan got an exclusive interview with Mizzy. Let's witness this super fight between two rage baiters whom many Brits can't seem to keep out of their homes.
This week, a social media prankster named Mizzy has generated headlines and abject outrage for so-called pranks, which mostly involve just terrorising innocent bystanders.
Random houses, let's go.
James? Are we still friends from right now, please?
James.
Mizzy entered that home in violation of a community protection notice from last May, but the kid couldn't stop himself from walking around someone else's building like Miles Morales.
Hello.
Unlike Spider-Man, the only animal that would bite him is that dog after mistaking his arm for a twig. Kicking him out, you mean a vanilla bean extract? This must be his audition tape for the movie Fast Extra Chromosome.
Well, as public anger grew this week, London's Met Police announced they were looking for Mizzy, real name Bakari Bronzagaro. The law caught up with him, and today he was fined £365 and given a criminal behaviour order, which is supposed to ban him from posting to social media without the written permission of the people in his videos. You might think that's not much of a punishment or much of a deterrent.
That's because it's cheaper to run off with a dog in England than it is to train one to be edgy in Scotland. Mizzy returned the pet, but in many parts of the US, he would have gotten a free bulldog, eagle, and colt for even doing this.
Well, what does he think? Well, fresh from the courtroom, he's here now. All right, well, good evening to you.
Hello, Piers. Long time no see.
What do you mean, long time no see?
Last time I hopped on your thing with my friend.
Oh, that's right, you appeared in the background, didn't you? When we were digging into it,
mate.
And in slow jams, with his friend, who also looked like Michael Jackson.
I'm curious about what has been motivating you to terrorise the people around where you live. Why do it?
I wouldn't really call it terrorising, I would just call it more having fun. But let's get this out of the way first. I apologise. You see this situation that blew up on the internet, the walking into random houses? The next day, I apologised to the woman because I felt bad, innit? Like, deeper than social media. Like, it went deeper than social media, that's why I didn't record it. She recorded me apologising to her. I told her sorry and she explained that she was terrified because like children were in the house.
Said the guy who just claimed that he doesn't terrorize anyone. That feel when he has the face of a little merman and the memory of a goldfish. It probably was fun for him to act like a psycho for the low price of about $450 USD.
And I understood
What were you doing in the house?
What was I doing in the house? I don't know, it was a stupid video. Like, I got peer pressured to say it. I don't want to say it like in that way, but...
Or somebody else's fault?
I'm not blaming it on no one else.
I mean, you break into a house with a woman and a husband and two young kids.
I went into the house on my own accord.
He went there of his own accord, but his friends pressured him to do it. How is that even possible when he's the leader of those droogs? In, out, you mean Mizzy in jail?
No, I'm just saying, okay, you went through their door, right? But it's not your house. You're not supposed to be in there.
Oh, no shit.
You are causing a lot of alarm to that poor woman and to her children who are in the house.
They should have kept the camera on him while he made this face. It's hopeless trying to teach him right from wrong when he prioritizes his own amusement over the well-being of children, like a drag queen storyteller.
You go up and you do these things. You take a dog from an elderly woman. You leapfrog over the top of an Orthodox Jewish man standing at the side of the road minding his own business. You go up to women in the street and say, do you want to die?
It wasn't a woman, it was a man. And she even
There were also women that you did this to.
There was maybe a woman there, but I only say it to the man.
Right. You shouldn't be saying it to anybody.
Except almost everyone around him is conditioned to avoid confrontation, so he has no reason to care. He's lucky those people were soft. Otherwise, he would have gotten clobbered and taped up in London more than Boogie did.
Fair enough, but
why, in the name of so-called prankster humour, why cause so much alarm and distress to so many people? Do you get your kicks out of doing that?
Not necessarily, but you could say that this whole public outroar just makes me laugh because people are getting hurt over something that didn't happen to them. And that's how I see it as.
What do you mean?
People are getting hurt over something that didn't happen to them.
That's because it could have happened to them. Similarly, he wouldn't have approved of Jeffrey Dahmer's actions because Mizzy looks like he could have been targeted. Given that he's too dumb to understand hypotheticals, pouring acid into his brain would have been a waste of perfectly good acid.
It's the kind of thing anybody could do, and you do it for kicks and you do it for clicks, and you get your little moment on TikTok, and presumably your peer group that you referenced earlier, they all think, good on you, Mizzy, this is hilarious. Meanwhile, Some poor woman thinks you've stolen her dog and is traumatized. Another woman has her 2 kids and you're bursting into their house uninvited.
All right.
You're jumping on Jewish people.
See, I was
right, who
jumping
are
on
already
Jewish people. Hold up, wait
Yeah,
a minute,
well, you
wait a minute, no, stop.
You did.
Cool, it was a Jewish person, cool. But there was a trend going around on TikTok called 300. I've done this to numerous people, black people, white people, Asian, any types of people. I don't discriminate. So don't stop saying Orthodox Jewish person like I only targeted him and it was only him that I went for.
Why are you targeting anybody in that
Well,
manner?
what do you mean, why am I targeting anyone? It was a trend, it was a trend. I just done it for a trend.
What's the trend? What's the trend?
300, jump over someone at the time of the beat.
However much you scare them.
He doesn't mind being labeled a scumbag or a moron, but even he's conditioned to take offense to being labeled a bigot. He wants credit for being awful to everyone, which ranks down there with "at least I did better than DSP" in terms of redeeming qualities. Never be like DSP.
Tell me about your life.
Because I'm trying to get onto you because I'm black. Because I guarantee if
Because
there was
you're
a white
black?
person, yeah, I guarantee if
I
there
don't
was
give
a
a
white
damn
person,
about your skin colour.
Really?
No.
Who cares?
Why would
Who
I care
cares?
what colour your skin is? I
Really
just think you're an idiot.
Oh, thank you. I think you're an idiot too.
That's fine. You're perfectly entitled to.
Yeah, so are you. So
this
like,
show's
fine.
called Uncensored. I think you're an idiot for what you've been doing. I also think you're an idiot for playing the race card when no one's mentioned your
really?
skin colour.
Really? Okay, you don't have to mention it to...
You mentioned it, because it's the easiest way to receive preferential treatment and make someone look bad. Piers got way too defensive, trying to win him over instead of making him admit that the backlash isn't about his race. The only time you'd want approval from a neat like Mizzy is when he's swiping his credit card. Every time he plays the race card, he can go right back to disrupting the community. If that leech ever decides to contribute to society, he could get into acting when Netflix does a live-action remake of Ice Age.
I don't care about your skin colour, Mizzy.
Alright.
I care about the fact that you've been terrorising all these people for a sustained period of time. I also care about the fact you've only got a tiny fine today, no deterrent to you whatsoever. You don't show any real remorse. You don't really care, do you?
The UK laws are weak, simple as. And that's not, the UK laws are weak, simple as, and that's not my fault. That's not my fault. Like in America...
What do your family make of what you've been doing?
Piers really should have let him complete his sentence about American laws. It would be like Simon Phoenix comparing Los Angeles to San Angeles. If Mizzy's parents, teachers, and neighbors gave him a different kind of open palm, maybe he'd be well mentally.
What did my family make? Well, I don't chat to my mum anymore. And
why not?
Why not? Because I just don't talk to her. It's irrelevant to you, but I just don't chat to her, innit?
If it's not obvious, he didn't grow up with his dad, which means there's at least one house that he'll never enter. I have a feeling that Mizzy's mom's opinion of him is about as favorable as Lizzo's opinion of bathroom scales.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand why there's no real remorse here.
What do you mean why there's no real
consequences of your
I went
actions
to
have
go
been?
apologise off social media. I could have recorded that apology and that would have been another viral video. Whether it's hate or whatever, literally, hate brings money, hate brings likes, hate brings views. It doesn't matter. Love or hate, it still brings views.
It sure worked for Bud Light. Just like Mizzy's victims, Anheuser-Busch is incapable of dumping cans. His life revolves around the internet, so of course he feels no remorse for what he does in real life. He'll continue to misbehave until he's beaten down, like Rick James when he wore out his welcome on someone else's couch. I guess that true Hollywood story was supposed to be a warning and an instruction manual. 2 days after this interview, Mizzy was arrested for breaching his 2-year criminal behavior order, which, as mentioned earlier, prohibits him from directly or indirectly posting videos to social media without the documented consent of the people featured in them. He proceeded to post several older videos, including one of him clinging to the top of a red bus, an upgrade from his usual short bus, and bursting into a rail cab. Fortunately, he couldn't start the train. In an American jail, he couldn't stop one either. Predictably, he's back on the street and doing damage control. Dipshits like Mizzy are the natural result of a weak society that doesn't punish wrongdoers and lets them coast through life like it's a game. He's essentially the ghost from Super Mario, because he haunts houses and will keep attacking as long as you keep looking the other way. 0! Like the video and subscribe to the channel, now.